this end game really begins. No Riley and Vidil up high.
Perfect. It's actually just the perfect height. Like launch pads can barely even reach right now. Some people are slightly elevated. Erican in the air, Lazen following right behind. Right now, this end game is just about how long can Noah Riley and Vidil maintain control. We will see challengers very soon. All these spatters that are landing, some of them might have the guts, the chutzpah to kind of build up and challenge Noah Riley and Vidil all the way up high. And there it is, the first one. It's Reason. He's going for it with Hen. Here we go.
This one's going to be an interesting bout. Noah Riley, I think, already realizing that they may be forced down. The zone didn't play to their favor. Hen and Reason look to take it. And I'm sure at the best given opportunity, they may look up for it again. But in the meantime, they just need to stay up. And you can see there, all the way above, Reason and Hen with a brilliant height taken. So now all of a sudden, all of the props we were just given to Noah Riley and Vidil play into their favor. Now it's about how long these guys can maintain and keep height. As you see so many players falling in the elimination feed, well above Surge as well. Now it's just about maintaining it. Noah Riley and Vidil going down in the backside of the zone. They got stuck in the mud, and so all of a sudden Reason and Hen, Reason with an opportunity to do what his teammates couldn't and try to take this first game.
Laying down on a Xerox, there were two different layers, two different lanes, with trains of duels following side by side, but they collided and crashed. These guys stayed up high. It looked all good. Now in mid-ground, Paxian as a solo. Jojo not there. He's got a lot of tools to be able to just keep going fast as well, because it's speedy splashes in his inventory. But he looks up and he sees doom, disaster right above. You cannot keep going this way. You can't really stay on this layer either. The zone now moving over to the 8th. I think Reason and Hen might even have a backup pad. We saw their mats. They're already full refresh. And yeah, they have one too. So no matter what happens on height, I think they're double golden pumped as well. Their win condition is literally just wait it out, drop down, land the big shots. That's all they need to do. All these builds as well on the bounce back is going to make it impossible for them to just penetrate these layers. So it's going to come down to that final 50-50. Meanwhile, though, there's still 9 teams fighting it out. Reisshub is still in the business with so many duels around him.
Yeah, this gets incredibly difficult, right? He talked about his zone pulling back. He wants to play the uphill. He wants to survive as long as possible. Try and guarantee his team as many points as he can. Not many builds left to work with. This probably is the right play. He's got plenty of corn as well. And you can just see it's paying off. All these teams fighting, all these shamble solos. This is what you get. Right? We start off with a duo game. It ends up looking like a solo final, because you just get all these solos scrambling around and all these layers scattered. And now it's going to be for Rifler to pounce in on the right time, that right opportunity. The med kit being pulled out here. And as he sits here, you can just see the elimination feed. You can see the counter just trickling down. And that's exactly what he would have wanted as well. Doesn't get the elimination credit for it, but it was enough to wipe that player off of his layup. And so all of a sudden, Rifler in prime position here to maybe steal away a second place. He hasn't got any material, so it's going to be very difficult, but with all these teams fighting, there's an opportunity. And as I say that, Falex takes him down. Falex, DKS, both solos up against Reason and Hen, who are railing in from above. Falex now with such minimal HP, he can't stand it. He goes down. DKS in a 1v2. It's an impossible task, you'd think, Shyo, but he has a bit of hope with this blue pump in hand. He's looking for a different angle. They sniff it out instantly. He's only got the 8 HP. It's only a matter of time until Hen and Reason take him out, unless is he able to get the finish? Hen goes down, the HP isn't enough. He's only a lick of HP away from being taken out of this game, but he does get the siphon. Force HP, but it was false hope. Reason will take him out and win that first game. Not be able to close things out.
Definitely.
But they've pulled zone, and that's going to be a big advantage. They need to beware of backside height takes, and you can see already pressuring certain angles. Savage has an idea of where it is he wants to top out to, but you can see just uber aware, looking out for padders, claiming as much land as possible, committing a lot to this, by the way. Rightfully so, they want to hold it. It's the best chance they have of winning this game. And now he will connect. This is now where things really get dicey. This is when the timing goes off. Malibuka tried to take it. Mustache will follow suit. Kuro as well, trying to get on the action. Hen's actually gone down, so Reason now has to try and get a back-to-back all alone. But it's not out of the realms of possibility for him, is it?
600 mats definitely has a lot to work with in terms of just scalability. He has so much room to just push with, a lot of resources to keep things moving. Thing though is every single person here is glided in. It's always new for these guys on low middle ground. They're not able to see outside their boxes. There's so much pressure. Especially Savage are the only duo who got the last 3 zones together. They've had a plan, the lay of the land. They're just executing it right now. Meanwhile, yes, Reason split in half from his dual partner. Matt's barely even used. Now on the wood, really rolling in fast. He goes all the way to the front side of the zone with minimal materials invested. Still has half metal left to work with. Now he's really setting up these traps right above him. Snazy still operating. Gets Felix down. Coop also going down in the feed. 14 teams now left as the 7th zone is still moving over. Might expect a few patters, but if everyone does stay low, that's lots of different meals for Reason to eat.
Yeah, this is a chance for Reason to really show his clutch gene. He's done it many times in grand final stages, and this would be no different. Benji and Savage have done a brilliant job here. They pulled the zone and they haven't fumbled it since. They really have a strong grip on this lobby. And as many players will go down, Reason just hoping he isn't the next. A Beto picking up an elimination. We know he does that well in these end games. And Reason gonna look to follow suit. Can't connect with any of the shots there. And with just 3 builds left, Shyo, this becomes incredibly difficult for him.
Yeah, he stayed high and dry so far, but the bank account that faces rent, the mats are running out, so he has to go straight for the shots of the builds, but it's not going to be possible. He gets denied. All the aggression so far has been silenced, shut down. Rifle's gone for height 3 times. Savage finally takes them out. He stopped Mustache, he stopped Malabuka, now he stops the 3rd team, while Benji just sits up there, revels in their glory. What a sick start from start to finish, and now it looks like it's bouncing back a little bit more diagonally, so they have even more pressure to work with. Obito though still alive, getting so many eliminations, 6 now, and he had 7 last game. What is this man doing so different? I'm not sure, but it looks good. Straight into the box. Can't find the shot though. 8 elims to the 5th. It's not that bad. We get into our final situation with a lot of teams. One's all the way down low, just waiting, watching. It's iResume, and he gets a few builds to work with. Savage has to tear through metal. Rick to get to that elim. It's not going to be possible while Lazen actually heals off in the storm. No one really claiming ultimate low for themselves or doing much with it. Everyone's kind of on a different layer. Savage and Benji now will work together to clear the air. Lyson finally reaching inside the zone. It's going to be a 2-way fight. iResumi is left all the way in the back, and the positioning is perfect from Savage and Benji. Effortless is the word I will use to describe that victory royale.
They must feel like they have a bit more freedom to look for maybe that elimination onto Aklowski. He's able to get away in the meantime.
It's really stressful for the whole lobby though. They just moved from the south to the north. They spent so many mats and are so far behind. They have to defend. They have to do it again the whole way. This is all territory that has no builds on it, and everyone that just rotated in has to work double time.
And this is the key thing here for Benji and how they set up now. They want to get that back-to-back win, and they're potentially poised to do it. You can see the pads coming out, and this is how they're going to deal with it, right? They're going to completely bypass all of this, look to move towards the front side, and it looks like absolute madness. You can see the likes of Spen, who looked like they were in such a good position, and maybe if the zones had pulled another way, it would have went elsewhere. But this is the key, right? Because whoever can identify it, whoever can realize height is for the taking, really can take their claim in this game. Benji now and Mr. Savage running into Mongrel and Juriki. That's not a fight they want to take at this stage. And Andretta and iDrop are the ones to take high ground. This isn't their normal land, but a one that if they find and if they claim correctly will definitely profit them.
Newcomers on a journey to pillage and plunder. They want to win this game. Savage, he's rolling in mid ground. They kind of dipped a little bit lower, but Benji's up with him now.
You see Mr. Savage, the desperation. He's looking to try jump in a box. He wants it. Reason and Hen, sorry, I should say, a layer below Andretta and iDrop, and that's something to watch out for. We've seen these guys take height from teams who weren't suspecting it. Okay. And so the battle for height becomes an even more interesting battle.
A beautiful rotation there from Savage and Benji too. Super short pad to kind of skip over. Disastrous mid-ground layers. It saves so many big materials too. Savage slowly creeps around to the box that Benji just claimed so fast. Now a big bounce back. Slightly. It's a new terrain. I think it will go past the river over another mountain. Savage slips a little bit, but it's looking all good. Don't usually get to see this main perspective for this long, but just watching the way they survive, move in and out of builds while other people go down around them. Frey and Kylie down. These guys drop down in the box again. A big switch up and it's Mongrel. They meet again. Swords clash. This man's hit the dash. He's gone. And Savage and Benji are just so good at controlling, knowing where everyone is, even in moments of panic like this right now. They harness the fear, the pressure, and they keep moving through. Savage, though, gets knocked down all up to Benji as Andretta falls from the sky. Jerky is still alive inside his wood box. PKR is a solo. There's 6 different teams alive with 10 players. There's so many just solo players playing it out right now. Hen and Reason are not one of them. They haven't even used that path to take height. They're ready to end this game from the low ground.
We're seeing a reversal of roles here for a moment. Hen and Reason down below, Vendetta and I drop up above, and clearly Hen and Reason couldn't handle that role because they go down trying to claim low ground. I drop and Vendetta looking to get lower to the ground, but that might have just cost them. I drop is an incredibly low HP, and seems like high ground's been taken. Vendetta will be knocked now, and so with such low HP, this game goes from an absolute win to almost being out and account for them. They're down below. Juriki is the only other solo looking to try and stop Hydro from taking it, and he will. It seems like Juriki's actually won it, and so he down below will be the only remaining solo. 62 HP on him. He's got the gold pump in hand. We talked about how effective that could be, but with such low HP, it's not going to be possible, it seems, unless he drops them down, and he just needs to hit the shots now. With such low HP, no builds, no cover, he can't do it. Kefi and PKR will win it, but Juriki definitely. Of another elimination, Juriki's actually gone down, so we're speaking highly of them, but it's not quite panned out. Same can be said for Mr. Savage as well. A lot of the key players in this one being taken out. We just seen Obito and Xerox actually gliding. They've managed to make their way into this stage of the game, even though the odds were against them, it seemed. And now Andrea and I drop in a more comfortable place in this zone, a more familiar ground. And maybe time for them to make up for last game's failings. Leading the line as well. All players following closely behind, the likes of Obito and Xerox positioning themselves to try and match the eliminations of earlier games. And this is what he's typically so good at, Obito. But the shot's just not landing this game. But he's got to roll with the punches. He's got to keep it going. And the chaos, maybe where he thrives, but he's got to be careful. He's actually stuck in between the builds here, and he's split up from his teammate now. So all of a sudden, they looked really good, but they've become incredibly scuffed.
It's because of Surge. 69 down. They had max mats, but had to get close and personal with someone else, risk it all. And now 57 above. I mean, the clock is ticking. 6 people still need to go down, and Relvis actually ends up getting knocked. They find each other. Mini's active. Chuck Splash is there to get them back, but as they find safety, Storm Surge finds them. Need to land this shot on the Vocal's knocked body, and it's not from the Storm or something. They get the full elimination credit for that as well. Xerox is popping off on these finishes right now. At the same time, Obito is gonna keep moving, start to get active. I'm paying attention to the feed right now too. Sinks is landing a few licks here and there. 90 above, it should not go down anymore. There's just 2 people to be eliminated for Surge to stop. And meanwhile, we're still bouncing back and forth like a pinball machine inside Misty Meadows. The bumpers active. The bonuses for height are there. It's Nazy, it's Nate, and it's home turf time. They have high ground, and they're gonna look to just hold on to this game.
This is where they thrive. 2 legends of this game up above, and really it should be theirs for the win. Obito has finally been taken out, and so that leaves Xerox, who's done a brilliant job this game thus far to keep his team in it, but he's gonna have to do more. It's not enough, like you said, bouncing back through Misty. It's made it so difficult for him trying to break through all these old builds. It's only a matter of time until he runs into a team who will have him in their crosshairs, and that time might have just come. He's scurrying around in the back of the zone. He's trying to avoid everyone. Just the 2 builds left isn't enough. He needs to hit with a big shot. He needs to find that right opportunity, and he needs that lever to come in clutch for him. Hearing steps in the zone behind him as well. So many players going down. Even though he's not getting the elimination, he's doing a great job to gain some placement points. Big damage dealt there. Wasn't enough to get the elimination though. And so he's still just hunting for it. And every opportunity he gets to find it, he's dodging, he's weaving, but he eventually goes down. Ginny goes down as well. Snazy and Nate really just hammering down on everybody below. This is the high ground domination we saw in earlier games. And these guys have gotten a piece of the action now. You can see all these players trying to find some sort of level ground. So many solos getting in the mix here.
Drop down height so much that they have a constricting grip on everyone down below, forcing friction on the fast Roki. He's just HP, left to do nothing whatsoever. Finally, while everyone's kind of breathless, trying to find a way to recuperate. Nate's there, close and personal with a 169 damage shot on a Kylie. Shuts him up real quick. Now they'll fully drop down. 4 different teams left. A few of them are solos, but the God duo is still on height, barely even affected. There's a full 1-2 all the way down on low ground. So Fast Roki bites off a bit more than he can chew. He'll go down inside mid. That puts Nate out of position to go right forward to Sphinx and push him down to the dirt too. He gets scooped, shoveled, digged, dug out, and Jackson is gone too. Nate is on fire, and you cannot extinguish his flame. Another big siphon, doesn't even need the health. The big shot around the left will not land. But where's Stacy? He's there. He's got the heals. Mr. Insurance Man himself slips a little bit, but he has what it takes to win the game. That's game 4.
Yeah, and I think for Benji's and Savage's POV right now, going for height in the 5th zone probably just isn't even worth it because they are setting themselves up close. They were looking for the sneak play, but Snazy and Nate are far too aware to let anyone get that close to them. And we know they have rotations. We know they have a launch pad. And from their current lair, they could definitely just utilize that to ensure they grab it during first moving, which is just about to start here, rather than actually trying to take it at this point. Because you see that zone kind of pulls far away from them. And Nate and Snazy are most likely going to launch pad from here anyway. So it's definitely going to be a battle of that first moving. Who's going to be able to manage to maintain the high ground? Is a team going to be able to get ahead, spray out anyone who's trying to stay up on that height during the first moving? Or are they actually going to be able to maintain it all the way through?
That is the question, Reese. Zone pulls a little bit more west, northwest on the mini-map. You can see the bottom right, so it's going to be a little difficult to hold that high ground if you're a Nate. They're most likely going to choose to conserve their materials, use a launch pad, like you said, and possibly look for it after. However, they could also just try holding it, but it would use a lot of materials, and it would probably not be worth it. And you can already see Nate use the launch pad here. He's going to be dropping on the bridge and continuing to look for that high ground. Will he be able to take it, though? This is where a lot of teams contest the high ground. This is where it gets dangerous. This is where it gets risky, but they're looking for it, and they're gonna most likely be able to hold it here, Reese.
They managed to maintain it. Snazy landed up there, while Nate was dropped a lot lower, but also managed to get back up to his teammates. So the launch pad came out, and it ended up being successful. And all of the players like Hookah flying through the air are very, very dangerous for Nate and Snazy right now, who have managed to go up on the high ground. We actually saw a second ago, Benji went down in the feed, so maybe should have managed to go for that high ground earlier. So many top teams still in it right now. Andalex and Leo in there. Andrea and iDrop claiming front low, and now Savage left alive as a solo player close to the low ground as well.
Battling against the player from Spain right now, actually, on the KPI team. So let's see how Savage can do here. He's, just like you said, playing as a solo, has minis, has 220 wood to work with. That's a little over 20 builds, but he's looking for an engagement here. He wants an impact, right? He wants a refresh, a little bit more materials. Will he be able to find it, though? That is the question. Unfortunately, not connecting a big shot with the pump. Ends up getting eliminated, and as well as the opponent, which eliminated him, going down. But now, the high ground. Nate is still high up, I believe. Taking a look at Bad Sniper, though. 240 points, Reese, trying to tarp on the mid ground.
Yes, 240 points to them. Remember, Reason and his teammate Hen have gone down as well on, I think, 254 points. So currently, right now, Bad Sniper and DKS are making a run to overtake them to take that first place. And they're looking so strong. You see Andrea go down. The big shot connects from a Bad Sniper right now. But no, they're both traded out as well. Mirza manages to pick up both of them going down. So no, they are not going to overtake the first team. But down in Storm, we see iDrop trying to heal Andrea. But he managed to get a chili splashes from this as well, saving him. But now he's stuck at the back of the zone, and he has to try and make a rotation to get ahead while he's still being pressured by the ton of the lobby.
40 builds left for iDrop. 2 eliminations for him. 2 eliminations for Andretta. He's made it back into zone. He only has 6 builds to work with, 4 builds to work with. He has not a lot of space right now. He's gonna have to find an impact frag, a refresh. But meanwhile, Nate and Snazy are dominating the high ground with 4 eliminations. They still have materials. They still have ammunition. They still have everything they need to apply that pressure on the mid, on the low ground. Meanwhile, iDrop is still going in, still looking for those eliminations. Malibuka stuck inside of the zone. This is getting more and more intense, Reese.
Getting more and more intense as Nate now starting to run low on AR ammo. Only 6 to his name. That's 3 more bullets here. Chances are not going to be able to get much with that. So he's going to have to now go for that pump shots to try and get something. But he gets some drop from his teammate from down below. And let's see if he can connect. Let's see if he can make the final shots to finally pick up the win as the roof pressure comes out. The 46 trades onto Andalex down below. Cammy still super weak down. X-Sweet and Andalex picked up by Erkin. Cammy extremely weak down the low ground. It's a 2v1. And Nate and Snazy are going to pick up the victory royale in game number 5.
I mean, that's something that can happen, right? You get, as a solo, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. You get dropped into a box, the duo sees you rotating alone. There's a lot of things that can cause you to get eliminated without being able to do much. But let's move forward from that. Take a look at Mr. Savage and Benji with 3 eliminations going into this first moving zone. A lot of materials. I would say the best loadout of the season right now in Mr. Savage's hand with the pepper splashes, the spicy chug splashes, the legendary assault rifle, epic shotgun. They have everything they need to make this victory royale happen.
Everything they need as well. And Hand and Reason also looking very, very strong loot-wise as well, with a good position on the zone, but no launch pad in that first moving. So now their position is not good. They're sneaking in the back of the tower, but the big beam comes onto Q-Roll. Q-Roll now picked up from 200 HP down to 0, leaving his teammate as a solo. And that's a refresh that Hand and Reason are definitely going to do well with. And a second elimination comes through as well. So a big refreshes for them, almost up to completely capped materials. And this is looking like a top 5 finish for Hand and Reason as well.
They are running through the mid ground, eliminating player after player, and also a Spanish duo representing high ground right now, Nako and Dan. Let's see if they can maintain it. Meanwhile, Mongrel and Jurekia here are going to be padding, looking close to the second high. They might be wanting to do something aggressive here onto the high ground team. You can also see at the bottom right, we have Mr. Savage healing up with Benji, getting those spicy flashes pop to increase their mobility. Hen on the top right is continuing that rotate, going to Old Tarb, trying to kind of build up a little bit. Found a very nice layer that's not too congested. However, the high ground teams are applying pressure to that layer, so Hen has to be careful here. But now they're going to take some time to heal up. Mr. Savage is going to continue his rotate. This game is getting more and more intense, Reese.
Getting more and more tense as 3 of the top teams still in it. Hand and Reason, for example, now going against one of the other top teams of Bad Sniper and DKS in the back, but the player harpoons in the box. But no, Hen does not miss. The 1 pump comes out and keeps him moving through the game. That was Bad Sniper, one of the teams who was potentially going to capitalize on them for the top finish. But no, he drops down into the wrong box, Mr. Savage's box, and the 1 pump comes out.
Mr. Savage taking down Hen, and now with that momentum, with that confidence continuing up onto the mid ground. 4 eliminations for Benji, Fishy, and Savage. They're getting pressure applied to them though from the high ground, but they're going to continue looking for these refreshes, continue looking for angles as they rotate. But now Resin, as a solo, gets a nice pump, 101. It's not enough for the knock though. Now with only 150 materials to work with, a solo staggering behind the zone. Will he be able to find that impact frag that he needs to continue pushing forward?
Reason, a known continual solo player, 6th in the All-Stars. If anyone can clutch up a big performance right now, it's gonna be him. He is in first with 309 points, but Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy down in the bottom right are still in it and could potentially overtake at the same time, getting elimination after on the bottom right. Benji is down. Top right, Reason picks up another elimination, does a solo, and another one onto another player on the low ground. Reason is absolutely controlling and dominating anyone who drops down near him. Another shot, the big 98 comes out, and he's fully claimed low as a solo.
Reason is unstoppable right now on this low ground, but be careful too, because Mr. Savage is close by. They have to scale the mountain. Mr. Savage goes down to Reason. Reason's now in a 1 versus 2 versus the high ground duo. Will he be able to clutch it off? He does not have not even the slightest advantage, and Reason ends up going down. Great performance from him, but Nako and Dan will be taking that victory royale. What an unfortunate way to go down by Storm Surge without even having the opportunity there to take on a battle and maybe get a bit of damage to save yourself from that Storm Surge. But there's still other duos in this game that are close to taking that #1 spot, just like Bad Sniper and DKS that we're seeing on the screen right now. Also, I believe Hen and Reason are also alive. We saw them harpooning up a bit of extra loot, so they're going to be very healthy going into this first moving zone. You can see how many duos they are. 27 duos, 50 players alive, second to last game. The storylines are building up, Reese.
Storylines building up indeed. We already see Reason and Hen, like we said, tunneling their way over the dead side. They've managed to get a peek up at height here, and any player flying through the sky is absolutely not safe when it comes to the aim of Reason and Hen at all. And they're going to hit the launch pad along with basically every single other player in the lobby. And who is going to be the one who's going to take height at the end of the first moving? Everyone's flying to the sky, so it's risky. But DKS is down at the back of the stone, leaving Bad Sniper as a solo for 2 games in a row. Our current 3rd place team has now to clutch up as a solo. Last game, we saw Andrea fail to be able to do this going at this exact same moment in the storm. So can he do it?
That's the question. Will Bad Sniper be able to clutch it up? But what happened here? Resin is left with 9 health. Hen is fully eliminated. We have another player that has to solo clutch it. Our top duos going into this match, both are left as solos. Will Resin be able to get the back-to-back solo clutch?
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be him. We already mentioned he was risking the big med kit, but he gets chunked as well. Back down to a single tick of storm. The zone's coming in, and it seems like, no, it's over for Reason right now. So they're locked in as well. This leaves it open for Bad Sniper as a solo player to clutch up at this point, get as many points as he can. Still with plenty of builds to his name, too. It seems like that gap is going to get even closer, but hold on. The player comes into the back of his box. He changes layers, drops down. The materials slowly dwindling away at the same time, but he's found himself a good spot down to pop off those minis and heal up.
Be careful, Bad Sniper. 2 eliminations to his name. Now only 20 builds to work with, but they're all wood. He has no hard materials. Has to find an elimination, and he actually takes down Link. That's going to give him some Siphon Shield alongside the Siphon materials. So he's going to have a little bit more time now to continue clutching it up. But look at the high ground. Putrick right now is holding it, but taking a look back at Bad Sniper now has 3 eliminations, 318 points, only 4 builds to work with. Gets taken down, but it was a good attempt as a solo. Looking at the low ground though, Reese, we have iDrop7 and Andretta.
iDrop and Andrea, like we said, they were doing so well in the previous games. Now in such a good spot as well after that last one not going so well for them. So they're definitely going to move on all the way up. But Zinni currently on 282 points at the same time. 10 HP, a single tick to storm will pick him up. A single tickle from any single weapon will also manage to pick him up. So he's being so careful, so slow in the back here, just trying to make sure he can get any placement points. Any threshold that goes over right now, if any teams go down, he's just going to gain more and more points as he can. So he's just playing his life as much as possible, playing pumps out. This is almost the worst situation you could possibly be in. No mats, no HP. The opponent opens up the wall and he misses the shot. Drops down to low ground, hits a shot, 36 white, but no, goes into the storm and gets picked up.
It's not enough now. Kylie and Frostroki on the high ground. Are they going to be able to hold it for the rest of the match here as Pixie gets into the box with 3 eliminations, but it's not enough. Now Passive, Leche's duo is up to clutching it as a solo. He's on the low ground. He manages to take down 1. He now has 4 eliminations as a solo. Is Passive going to be able to make it back into the zone? Looks like he has an other Siphon, but it wasn't his, so he will not get the HP from that elimination. Now Frostroki going to take down Passive. Dandif on the high ground here, but will Kyle be able to take this with his 3 eliminations, Reese?
Kyle and Frostroki, 7 eliminations each. The harpoon play comes out, the high ground knocked down, but no manages to connect at the same time. Kylie drops down, Frostroki picks up 1 more at the same time, more materials in inventory. The auto sniper comes down, the pressure from up above, but the 2 players drop down. The harpoon plane comes up, it's Dandy up on the high ground at the same time. The pressure comes out, the materials down, the players dropped, and the victory royale sold to Kylie and Frostroki.
They could do it, finding 2 eliminations there. iDrop getting 1 and Andretta getting the other. This is anybody's game, but iDrop went down. iDrop got eliminated. Now it's all up to Andretta's a solo as well. All these top duos are getting left alone for solo clutches.
solo clutch as D. Hen hits the launch pad. Time to go for first moving. Right in front of him, Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy too. So they're going neck to neck in zone positioning, taking height. This first moving pulls over a huge elevation change, so it's going to be difficult for a ton of our top teams. Hen now launch padding, staying ahead, seeing comfortable at his positioning. Benji Fishy, 357 points. 2 points behind Hen right now. 2 points behind. They've got 4 eliminations total to their name. So anymore, seems like he's picked up another one. That's finished. Benji Fishy has overtaken Hen in placement points. Hen now, as a solo, has to figure out what he can do. He needs to get some big elims, and he gets one at the back of the storm. Another white tag comes out as well onto X-Squeeze.
He's on top. Now Hen is above Benji Fishy by 2 points. They're going back and forth to the battle of this championship. Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage left alive as a duo, but Hen, is he going to be able to clutch it up as a solo? Is he going to be able to get more points as a solo? He's running low on materials, has a little bit under 20 builds. Now 10 builds, has to find an impact soon, has to get that refresh, takes a shot. Is it enough to get the elimination? Cracks him right white, but I don't believe he gets it. He's going to move forwards now to the zone, running very low on mats. He's about to run out of materials here. Reese, will Hen be able to find the impact he needs?
Into the back of zone. He manages to hit a big shot onto Hutty at the front side of the zone too. Still 3 points above. He gets a finish. He gets an elimination too. I think that doesn't actually count all the way through. He's still 2 points ahead. Wait, points, but he gets an elimination onto Hutty here. 379 for Hen in the bottom right. And now goes another one. Benji Fishy goes down at 371. Hen, I think, is the only person capable of winning right now on 387. This solo clutch for Hen alongside Reason has potentially won them. But no, I'm talking too fast. Because Mr. Savage is up. Hen is down on 387.
387. Mr. Savage just needs a couple eliminations here, and he passes Hen, taking the championship. Will Mr. Savage be able to clutch it up? He has 400 wood left. He still has the materials. He still has the shields. He just needs these eliminations and a tiny bit of placement. 379 is what he's at, Reese. This is too much.
This is too much from our heart to handle by any means. They both have a victory royale. They were tied on average eliminations coming into this. So I think he may need 389 to be able to get himself into this too. He's dropping down to the back of the zone. He picks up the elimination. 391. That elimination has won Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy the Dreamhack Open for Chapter 2, Season 8. And he's popping off with one more.
He's not done, Reese. He's still going. 3 eliminations for Mr. Savage. Looking for a 4th. Unable to get it, but finishes it off with 400 points. Now, looking at JoJo. 5 eliminations. Will he be able to make it 6? The opponent goes down to Storm. Manages to finish him off, but now there's only 2 teams alive. It's the high ground team versus Joe on the low. Will he be able to clutch up against the Spanish duo from KPI?
The Spanish duo who ended DKS and Bad Sniper's run will also pick up the elimination and the victory royale.
Here you can see on the screen here, this is what happened in the end, and it came down to 13 points. Look at that, Reese. That's how close this was. Oh my goodness, what a way to sign off this this event. Absolutely incredible.
I mean, I honestly wasn't sure which way it was going to go. You know, it seemed like